Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. With Christmas fast approaching, I thought it would be fun to share with you a cute little melt and pour Christmas inspired soap project. Every year at this time of the year, I like to share with you some sort of melt and pour project because as you know, the closer we get to the holidays, the more crunched for time we get. This is a project that looks like you labored away and it looks very detail oriented and they come out looking so cute, but really it's a pretty simple project and everybody needs something like that around the holiday season, especially if you're someone like me that likes to give away handmade gifts and things like that. So in this video today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a gingerbread or holiday cookie melt and pour style soap. And I'm going to be going over my full visual process and tutorial step by step. I'll also be sharing the recipe as I go along with you, and I'll place it in the description box below. As always, I will be writing up a full step-by-step detailed tutorial with the recipe, percentages, amounts, and links to where you can purchase everything that I'm using for this project today. I'll be posting that over on my Patreon campaign. I'll put the link to my campaign in the description box below. If you haven't had a chance to check out my campaign yet, I really hope you do. There's a ton to take advantage of. There's hundreds of recipes. I build upon them every week. So at the $5 level, when you come in, you have access to almost every recipe that's ever been published. There's a ton to take advantage of in the hair care, skincare, and candle making areas. We have a wonderful community over there now of over 3,000 makers. I really hope you'll consider joining the campaign. All right, let's get started. So we are going to be using this cute little gingerbread mold. I got this years ago. It's a Milky Way brand mold, and it's just a hard plastic mold. I'm not exactly sure where I got this. I think maybe Brambleberry used to carry this, and maybe they still do. But it's just this cute little hard plastic gingerbread mold. So the first thing we're going to do is fill in his little eyes, his bow, his mouth, all the little pieces that look kind of 3D on here. We're gonna fill in with different colors. So I'm first going to cut up a little bit of soap for the different colors. I'm not even really gonna weigh this part because it's just a small bit I'm gonna be drawing up into a pipette and filling in. So we're gonna do white, green, and red, just kind of like your traditional gingerbread cookie style, and his body is going to be a gingerbread color brown. So I'm just cutting off little bits of soap for those little 3D pieces that we're going to make green, white, and red. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and melt this down. We're going to be using a little bit of titanium dioxide to make a white color out of this soap. I'll be back when this is melted down. The way we're going to do that is just put it in the microwave in a really short, maybe 10-second bursts until all these pieces are completely melted down. All right, so here's my melt and pour soap. It's clear. This is the crystal soap base, the melt and pour crystal soap base by Stevenson. And that's what it looks like. I really love this soap base. I never get any sweating with it. It never gives me any problems. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put in a little bit of titanium dioxide dispersed in water. This is the water-soluble titanium dioxide. I'm just making my melt and pour white. You can purchase white melt and pour soap if you want to, but it's a little bit more expensive, and all that the manufacturer is doing is adding titanium dioxide to their melt and pour. So you can do that yourself with a clear base, and it's a little bit cheaper that way. And there we go, we've got a nice white looking soap. And then all I'm gonna do, well, first I'm gonna put on my reading glasses because I need to see close up here for this part. All I'm gonna do is draw up the soap into the pipette. I'm going to give this a little spritz with rubbing alcohol. That will help the soap get into all the surface area that I need it to get into. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in the areas that I want to be white. So his eyes, his mouth, his little eyebrows. And then we're gonna do the icing. The icing on the arms and the icing on the legs. And we're going to do that for each one. Now the eyebrows are a little bit tricky here. If you find that you mess up on those, you can just allow them to set up and then pull the little white soap out of that area and try again. It's a very tight space, but it's easily remedied if you do mess up on it. Or like here, I'm getting a little bit of I'm getting the soap a little bit over where I don't want it to be, and what I'll do is just allow that white part to set up, then I'll pull out the pieces that I don't want. So next up, I'm just going to go ahead and melt down the pieces that I'm going to be using for the bow, and this is going to be our green color. So to this, we're going to be adding into the melted soap, we're going to be adding in some laurel green mica. This comes from Nurture Soap. This is a really good kind of Christmassy green color. It's great for like vintage type looks that you might be trying to go for in your holiday or Christmas inspired designs. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix this in. You can also put a little bit of rubbing alcohol right in it to help disperse the mica. Okay, so we're going to be adding a little bit more because I want the green to be a little darker than that. Just continue to stir. And this green is pretty because it's got a high kind of shimmer to it, as you can see. Okay, this is starting to set up just a little bit, so I'm going to remelt it down and then we'll be ready to fill in our little bows. Okay, there we go. So again, we're going to go ahead and spritz down the little gingerbread people. Then we're going to draw up some of the green soap into the pipette, and I'm just filling in the little bow ties with green. Sort of like a traditional gingerbread style cookie. I got a little air bubble there. You can just spritz it when you get air bubbles. Just making sure they're all full. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean up, or actually what I'm going to do is go ahead and melt down this bit for the red soap, and I'll be back when we're ready to add the color. All right, so for this red, we're going to be using some really red mica, but I'm also going to be mixing it with some Merlot sparkle mica. This one goes really nicely with the green, but I didn't want it to blend too much with the body. The body is going to be brown, so I'm adding in Merlot sparkle mica, that comes from Brambleberry, and a little bit of really red mica from Nurture Soap, just to kind of tone down the brightness of this red, but also to brighten up the Merlot sparkle mica a little bit. Giving that a good stir. Again, you can use rubbing alcohol to disperse that mica. Get it all nice and blended, and I think that's actually a very nice color that will go really, really well with the green on his bows. Okay, that really red mica is kind of hard to get dispersed into melt and pour. So you could pre-disperse it in a little rubbing alcohol first into a separate container, if you like. Okay, and we are ready to go ahead and fill in the little buttons. As you can see, I overestimated how much soap I was going to need on each of these little parts. Okay, I'm going to give that a little bit of a spritz just to cut those bubbles. And then I'm going to get a little scraper tool and clean up my little white overspills here before we make the soap for the body. Okay, while this is setting up, we're going to go ahead and cut up 9 ounces of melt and pour soap for the body of our gingerbread cookies. So I'm going to go ahead and get my scale. And I've got this little glass beaker. You can use a Pyrex, whatever you have. And we're just going to weigh off 9 ounces. Each cavity is 3 ounces each. Come to me, my girl. Come to me, my girl. Oh, come to me, my girl. Come to me. Okay, so that's my 9 ounces. I'm going to have to switch to a bigger container here. All right, and we're going to go ahead and get this melted down and ready to pour into the bodies. All right, so the soap now is melted down, and we're going to go ahead and add in the brown color and also the fragrance for this. So the color that I'm using is Mocha Brown Mica. This is by Nurture Soap. By the way, all the colors that I'm using today by Nurture Soap, I'm using intentionally because they won't bleed, meaning these colors will stay separate and they won't bleed into each other once made, which is really nice for a project like this. The colors won't migrate or bleed. So we're just going to go ahead and add in the brown, some liquid dyes, and some micas do bleed, and most liquid dyes do. So you just want to make sure when you're buying mica that you take a look and make sure it says that it's a non-bleeding mica. And then that way you won't have any issue with it migrating into the other colors as the soap sets. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add in our fragrance. It's a gorgeous kind of baked gingerbread looking color. And we are going to be using this little gingerbread fragrance oil that I got. This came as a gift for me last year, but it came too late for me to do anything with it at Christmas time. So I'm using it this year. This was a gift from Nature's Garden. This is gingerbread fragrance oil. It smells very much just like a gingerbread cookie. And we're going to go ahead and use 0.3 ounces for 9 ounces of melted soap, 0.3 ounces of gingerbread fragrance. I think this is a little half-ounce container. And we're just going to go ahead and give that a good mix. It smells so good. You're going to have to remind people that these is actually soap and not cookies. Okay, just getting this all mixed in thoroughly. And we're ready to go ahead and pour. I'm spraying rubbing alcohol down one last time to make sure that the soap just spreads evenly over each cavity. Okay. Now we're just going to go ahead and allow these to set up, and then I'll be back for the unmolding. All right, these have been setting up now for probably about an hour and a half or so, and they are solid and ready to be removed. So with this type of mold, you just kind of have to pull and twist a little bit just to kind of create a little bit of space between the mold and the actual soap. So if you let this set up for a whole day, they're easier to pop out. So we're just going to pull and twist a little bit, and then I'm going to flip it over and push them out like so. There we go. Once you create a little air pocket, they come out pretty easily. And I just think it's so cute. I love the little gingerbread soaps. Look at that. He is so cute. It smells really good too. There we go. Anyone would love to get this as a little Christmas gift or a stocking stuffer, or even just to use it, right, at Christmas time in your soap holders in your bathrooms or kitchens. You could pair this with a cute little soap holder and tie it up and wrap it really nice. That would be a nice gift. And there's number 3. All right, everybody, that's how you make a cute little holiday-inspired gingerbread cookie soap. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please leave me some comments or questions below. That really means a lot to me. Share this video with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. All right, everyone, catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.